Hey, it's Javen here from Postal Barbecue, and today at the grill, we're smoking up some delicious back ribs on the kettle grill using the Slow and Sear. I'm going to put all the show notes for you in the description box below, so make sure to click down there for everything that you need for this cook. Also, if you like what we're doing on this channel, consider subscribing for great barbecue recipes, tutorials, and reviews. And other than that, let's get cooking. So to get started with the smoked rib recipe, you're first of all going to need some back ribs or some loin ribs. That's what these are. They're about 2.5 pounds each, and so they're going to be real hearty and meaty, just the way we want it. The next you're going to need some oil, and then some of your favorite barbecue rub. This is some Myron Mixon original meat rub. Then we're also going to be using our Postal Barbecue pit rub on the second rack. Alright, so these pork back ribs are about 2.5 pounds each. This one's a slightly bigger one, and the first thing we're going to do is begin by taking the membrane off both of the racks here. And so you're just going to take a butter knife and wedge it underneath one of the bones. And once you have it lifted up like this, you're just going to take some dry paper towel and grab it. Then you're just going to rip it off, just like some masking tape. Alright, so we have our back ribs all prepped with that membrane off, and the next thing we're going to do is take some olive oil or whatever oil you got. We're using some avocado oil today, and we're just going to place some of that on to both sides. This is going to be our binder to help that rub stick to the outsides of the ribs. The next thing that we're going to do is take our barbecue rub, and we're going to do this rack with the Myron Mixon meat rub. So we're just going to go ahead and give a nice liberal coating to these ribs. This is a nice rib rub because there's some salt, there's some sugars, a little bit of spice, and it's got a really nice balanced flavor. So this next rack, we're going to be using our Postal Barbecue rub. This is our go-to rub for chicken and ribs and pretty much everything that we like to cook on the grill. And so again, we're just going to place that onto this rack here. Similar to that Myron Mixon one, this has some salt, some sugar, paprika, onion, garlic, and it's got a nice flavor for these ribs. You're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing on the back side. Once you got your ribs all rubbed, you're going to want to place them in the fridge for a couple hours just to allow that rub and the salt to penetrate into the meat. Alright, so today we're going to be using the charcoal Napoleon kettle grill as well as the Slow and Sear from Adrenaline Barbecue Company. You can see that we've already started with a lighter cube down in the corner with about 12 briquettes piled up on top of that just to get it lit and get it going. And the next thing that we're going to do is take about 3/4 of a chimney basket full of unlit briquettes, and we're going to place them onto this side of the Slow and Sear. So once we have our unlit briquettes into this side, we're going to take our boiling water and begin to fill up that water reservoir. What we need to do is get our grill into place, as well as we're going to take our ThermoWorks smoke and place that into the grill so we can just monitor our temps easier. Once that's done, we're going to close the lid and get our grill up to about 250 degrees. So we got our grill all set up for cooking between 225 and 250 degrees, and we're going to be cooking these ribs using the indirect method, meaning hot coals on one side in the Slow and Sear, and then our ribs over on the cold side of the grate. Once we got that all set up, we're going to take our hardwood. We're going to be using some hickory wood today. We're going to place that onto our hot coals to provide a little bit of that smoky flavor we're looking for. And once that's done, we're going to close the lid and begin cooking for about 4 to 4.5 hours. Alright, so these ribs have now been smoking in the grill for 2 hours, and we're going to open it up and take a look at them, as well as we're going to give it a shot with this spritz that we made. There's just 2 parts apple juice and 1 part apple cider vinegar. And so let's go ahead and take a look. You can see right away that there's a lot of nice color on these ribs. They aren't done yet. They still probably have another 2 hours. What we're going to do right now is take our spritz and just place that on to the ribs. Once that's done, we're going to close the lid, and then we're going to come back and spritz it again in 1 hour. So we've been cooking these ribs now for 4 hours, and they are looking really nice. You can see that when we do the bend test, we got some nice cracking in the ribs. And so it's now time to go ahead and put our sauce onto these ribs. So now that we got our sauce on our ribs, we're gonna let it set for about 30 minutes to firm up, to get a little more sticky. Then after that 30-minute mark, these should be done. So these back ribs are all done. The Slow and Sear did a wonderful job cooking these, keeping that consistent temperature. There's only one thing left to do, and it's give it a taste. Here we are. This one here is that Myron Mixon rub that we put on it. You can taste that coming through really nice. It's a sweet, little bit of that heat. The glaze of the barbecue sauce is coming through really nicely, and that smoke is just enough. It's not bitter. It's perfect. So that's how you smoke up those delicious back ribs using the Slow and Sear. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment down below on how it turned out for you, as well as what you might have done differently. If you like what we're doing on this channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, give it a share, and we'll see you next time.